So first of all, we see here that there are three string classes in Java. So that first one is string, second one is string buffer, and third one is string builder. We all are aware of the properties what a string carries. That is, it is immutable, means once you create it, it is not changeable. Second property is that, so because of this immutability, Java has given a string buffer concept. Before JDK 5, string buffer was introduced to overcome the uh, string immutability concept. Later, from JDK 5, a string builder class has been introduced because there are some lackness in this string buffer classes. To overcome that lackness, to Java string builder is given. So we will see in detail. Let's see first the string and string buffer. So string is immutable, we all know that, so it is not changeable. But string buffer given the property that is mutable, means even if you created an object having some content, later you want to modify something in that, suppose to uppercase or to append something, you have written the first name like Ashish, and later you want to add a Kumar in it. So you need not to re-reference or recreate a new object, just you need to append, and it will be pointing the same address what it is pointing earlier. So this is the mutability concept. Maybe we can prove that it is mutable or not mutable. Likewise, same what we did in earlier videos in string by fetching the hash code of the object. So you can prove that it is mutable or not. Now coming to the second point, we know that a string can be created using literals. So string str hello, we can create that. But likewise, we cannot create here. String buffer equal str equals to Ashish. This is the literal way to create a new object. So this is not possible in string buffer case. Third is, a string is meant to be less efficient compared to a string buffer. Why? Because whenever we create a new object using string literals, it has to check inside the string constant pool first, then it will create the new object. If it is already having the content inside it, it will not create, it will reference that content, that object only. But in case of a string buffer, it doesn't carry it doesn't worry about that whether it has been created earlier or not. It will create new object every time when you create or you provide the same data or different data, it doesn't matter. So because of using the new operators, it is going to create it inside the heap memory. So new operator never worry about whether it has been created earlier or not, either in case of a string or a string buffer. But here one concept is there. We have seen that in string classes two objects are created when we are creating using new operator, but that object is pointing at the last that string constant pool only. So now we will see that how it is less efficient. So because of whenever we are creating any object, it has to check and verify that whether it is existing or not. It must take some time. So that due to that time taking, it is less efficient. But in this case, string buffer case, it is not happening. So it is more efficient than string previous classes. So it is recommended to use string buffer class object, so in respect to string. So if you are wanting to perform any modification. Now the third property, there are certain properties added inside this string buffer class object. Of course, why it has been introduced, so there must be some extra functionality added here. So that is synchronize. Synchronize is a keyword, or we can use it as to add extra functionality. Suppose that there are one object of a string buffer. Suppose here I created a string buffer object something hello. So we want to allow only one thread at a time. So what is the thread, we will not discussing here. So we will know what is thread later. But for now, when only one thread is allowed on any object, it means it is synchronized. Synchronized is mean to make any object thread safe, so that only one thread can operate over one object. So this concept has been given in string buffer object. And mainly not object means all the method inside this string buffer is synchronized, almost all. So this is the difference and extra functionality from string class object. When anything is synchronized, you know that it is thread safe. So this is thread safe. Now this is all about the string buffer. How to create a string buffer? Simply using new operator string buffer as object variable name and using new operator and this content. In this way we create the string buffer object. Later, suppose that I have told that it is mutable, means once we create it, suppose it returning some hash code 1234, and later we want to perform any modification. So what we can do here is that str dot, there is one method to change your content, that is append method is there. A string dot append method we are calling and passing some variable value you want to. So later when we print this str, we will give the we will have the output of hello Kumar with same hash code reference. It means that it is not re-referencing or not creating new object, it is changing in the previously created object only. So it is mutable. Now why string builder is given in Java? Almost string builder is copy of this string buffer class. Only difference in there is that it is synchronized, it is not synchronized. The method inside the string builder is not synchronized. How we can check? So simply if you want to know any property or any method residing inside any class, we can simply check using its profile. So you can check using this command java p. When you put this command inside the command prompt, java p, and all the string classes residing inside the len package of Java. So java p java dot len dot string builder. Or if you want to know a string buffer, just put it here string buffer, here string. So you will know what are the prototypes of methods are given, what are the methods residing inside all these classes. So see here, I have said that string buffer and string builder having the same method almost. Only thing is that this class method is not synchronized. String buffer class methods are synchronized. Almost all methods are synchronized. And one more difference is that performance wise string buffer is less efficient. How I can say that? I will prove it. And string buffer is more efficient. One thing we know that here only one object are allowed because of synchronized keyword we have used, or the method inside this string buffer is synchronized. But in case of a string builder, no methods are synchronized, so n number of threads we can allow, or n number of threads can use that object at a time. So in another way what we can say that this is more efficient. Second thing is that we can check how it is more efficient. We will use one for loop. Simply I am using here one for loop, something I have written. Suppose you take a large number so that it takes some time to create that object. So suppose that I am creating or appending some objects 10,000 or 1 lakh times. Just do that. So before executing and after executing this for loop, we record what is the current time, and the difference between these two times will give the total execution time taken by string buffer and string builder. We will perform this loop inside the same for loop inside the string buffer and string builder. So we will have the total execution time of the string builder object and string buffer object. So it must take A string buffer must take more time than a string builder. So how you can take? Simply this is the method to fetch the current time whatever it is running inside your machine. So you need to save it in one variable, long variable, because that is a integer type but long integer type. So just store it in some variable long x, and before executing the for loop, and suppose here I am taken x, this x, and after the for loop we have taken another time long y variable. So again we have to call this method to fetch the current time. So here is one time, x is having one time, y is having one time. So difference of y minus x gives you the total execution time. Suppose that 5 seconds. If a string buffer is taking 5 seconds for 10,000 times of loop, it will surely, a string builder will take less time than this 5 seconds. It must also take some time because execution will take time, but it will always take less time than a string buffer because of the synchronization concept. So we learned about this here, that the string buffer and string builder, what is the difference, why Java has given all these three classes.